Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, severe flooding impacting areas of the Midwest. The floodwaters damaging hundreds of homes and forcing evacuations. It's also claimed the lives of several people, and even more rain is expected. ABC's Alex Perez has more from hard-hit Missouri.
Here in Missouri, the rising waters wreaking havoc for residents where flooding has claimed 5 lives. In Eureka, the Coast Guard navigating streets overflowing with water by boat. The Show Me State already hit with at least 12 inches of rain and more expected to come this week.
Amounts are going to range from 1 to 3+ inches over the next few days.
The Merrimack River at nearly historic levels of floodwaters damaging at least 200 homes so far and threatening to overflow into 1,500 others. The flooding leaving many stranded, officials closing at least 270 roads, even suspending Amtrak service.
I can't stress enough that if there's water on that roadway, do not go into it.
But neighbors banding together, working around the clock, filling and stacking sandbags.
So the bags come off the truck, go all the way down the line.
And to make matters worse, they are bracing for another possible 3 to 4 inches of rain here in the next couple of days. Alex Perez, ABC News, Eureka, Missouri.
Yeah, and John, the news we heard there, even more rain hitting these areas.
As we speak.
There's nowhere for it to go anymore.
No, as we speak, the basin is flooded, and we've got more rain coming. Right now in Arkansas, the Black River has a confirmed levee breach. That's near Pocahontas, Arkansas, if you know where that is. In Missouri, you've got flash flood warnings up now because of thunderstorm activity, 3 inches per hour. Flash flood warnings over a lot of central Missouri. And now down in the northern Gulf Coast, Texas, Louisiana, both have flash flood warnings up over the last hour or so. So it is a very bad situation.
Yeah.
And all of that storm system, that low pressure area, is gradually going to drift toward the east and maybe bring us some needed rainfall, hopefully not in those kinds of amounts. No. So I don't think we will. We had some cloud cover to start off the morning, kind of a harbinger perhaps of what's to come over the next several days. In the clearing skies, a little bit of drier air moved in and a little bit of cooler air as well. So we started off the morning anywhere from 4 to 6 degrees, depending on where you lived, cooler than we were 24 hours ago. As we head into the afternoon, I think we'll see more clouds build, particularly in these inland areas where there's about a 10% chance that we could see some showers around. Satellite view showing some pretty clear skies over us right now, but there is the possibility, that 10% possibility of a few scattered showers inland. Temperatures running generally in the 80s most everywhere you look. It's going to be a hot one. We'll probably top it out close to the 90 mark. And as the next system inches closer to us, the Severe Storm Prediction Center still puts us in the risk of severe weather. We'll talk about that coming up in a few, Scott.
All right, John, thank you so much. New this afternoon, the longest-serving member of the board of the Manatee County School Board announcing her resignation. Karen Carpenter, retiring from the board after 7 years. She was first elected back in 2010. During her tenure, she helped establish an audit committee and set up a more community-based oversight of district finances. Once she leaves, Governor Scott will appoint someone else to finish her term. She was up for re-election next year. The 74-year-old says she plans to move to Massachusetts to be closer to her children and grandchildren. Her last day is set for June 1st. Sarasota County School District taking a big step toward completely banning smoking across its campuses. Board members voting unanimously last night in favor of pushing it through to a final vote in the coming weeks. Right now, schools allow smoking in designated areas, but that may be changing as the current smoking policy is being revised to completely ban smoking on campuses. This includes electronic cigarettes as well. This is a move many parents, educators, and even students have pushed for in recent years.
It's a very important issue that people are passionate about. We have some chapters at some of our schools of students working against tobacco, and they have been, vocal.
In addition to employees, the proposed ban would prohibit any visitors and volunteers from lighting up on school property as well. A Bayshore High School senior was honored today at the annual Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County's Good Morning Great Futures breakfast. ABC 7's Jacqueline Matter was there this morning and has more on the club's Youth of the Year. Jacqueline.
Yes, Scott, Nicholas Charles Crowell was named the 2017 Youth of the Year for the Manatee County Boys and Girls Club back in February, and today he was joined by dozens of people to help him celebrate. Nicholas is on the football and track team at Bayshore High, but also gives back to his local DeSoto Boys and Girls Club. To achieve this prestigious title of Youth of the Year, one must embody leadership, service, and academic skills, all which he has. After losing his mom and brother in a deadly car accident at just 8 years old, Nicholas says he's thankful for those who reached out to help and guide him.
It's truly a blessing because without the Boys and Girls Club, I honestly couldn't tell you where I'd be. I can't wait for the younger members throughout my club to see that I've been through this journey and that it's a great one. I can't wait to tell them about it, and I hope to see the younger members trying to become Youth of the Year like I did.
Nicholas also will be graduating in just a few days and will be playing football and running track for Wisconsin Lutheran College in Milwaukee. The Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County gifted him with a MacBook Pro to help kick off the school year in the right direction. And Scott, I have met him a few times and he has such an inspirational story, such an amazing young man with a willingness to give back to just about anyone he meets. So.
And obviously a bright future ahead. Yeah. Are you hungry?
Well, I'm a little hungry. It is lunchtime, isn't it?
Me too. Let's get over to the kitchen now and check in for the first time with ABC7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Hi, Judy.
Hey there, Scott. Well, I'm getting ready to celebrate Cinco de Mayo that hits on Friday. There will be plenty of places around the Suncoast you can celebrate at, and I'll be at one of them. But if you are having a Cinco de Mayo party at home or just anytime you want to get those flavors in, I have a great recipe for you today. I've taken some quick, simple ingredients like bottled dressing, but really fresh, creative flavors, and turn that into marinade for skirt steak. We're going to build upon that in a gluten-free tostada bowl, use some other items, and of course there'll be limes, cilantro, and avocados. Stay with me. I'll be back in just a few minutes to start cooking.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Ray Collins. Some popular acid reflux drugs are in the spotlight. A medical group is asking the government to put warning labels on these over-the-counter medications. That's tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
We continue to watch a cold front approaching the state of Florida, producing a squall line. We'll update you on our rain chances and the possibility of severe weather.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at temperatures that are rising pretty quickly in response to the heating of the day, plus a little bit of a wind shift that'll take place in the afternoon will also continue to rise our dew points, which right now are kind of low, actually, after the little front move through yesterday at 65. 88, our current air temperature. Will probably top it out today right at the 90 mark, a few degrees warmer than we were yesterday. That was yesterday's high, so today I think we'll probably be pretty close to 90. Winds right now calm. Will be switching to the south and southeast initially, then eventually to the southwest, kind of swinging through that southerly arc. 84 degrees, Wauchula. Arcata is at 82. We have Myakka coming in at 84, Parrish 85, so is Bradenton, Longboat at 82, 88 in Sarasota, 83 degrees in Venice, 81 degrees in Inglewood, 86 already in Punta Gorda. So across the nation right now, we have this area of low pressure that we talked about earlier, producing all the heavy rainfall in parts of Arkansas, Missouri, Indiana, Illinois, all the way up into the Ohio Valley, actually, and all the way down into the Louisiana Delta region back toward Texas. There are flash flooding being issued, flash flooding reports. That low will gradually drift to the east. As it does that, it's going to drag this cold front right straight toward the state of Florida. The high pressure ridge, which is providing us with our nice weather today, sunny skies and our little bit lower temperatures, is going to move out into the Atlantic, shifting our winds up out of the south, returning moisture pretty lickety split to the area by tomorrow. Then this frontal boundary and its prefrontal trough and associated rain showers back to the west of that will gradually drift closer to our area, so that we get that pretty decent chance of rainfall starting tomorrow night and again tomorrow, Friday morning. So mostly sunny skies for us today. Shifting winds returns the high humidity, and an isolated shower today in inland areas along the sea breeze, and about a 10% chance or so of that, but a much better chance tomorrow night through Friday morning. So you can see the big cluster of showers and thunderstorms as this low pressure area starts to get its act together along with a frontal boundary and begins to advance toward the east. There's actually two separate areas of low pressure. They'll probably coalesce over the next 24 hours or so as they advance toward us, with the southern branch of that low pressure system probably taking precedent and moving off toward the north and to the east. Flood warnings up, or flash flood warnings, or urban stream advisories up for a number of rivers and streams and catchment basins all through low-lying areas of the plains and the Ohio Valley. That stretches down toward Louisiana Delta region, and also in these areas in orange and yellow are areas of severe thunderstorm warnings or watches for tornadoes today. That's the kind of system this is. Very enhanced risk of that sort of thing in the northern Gulf Coast, Louisiana region. For us, we're still in that big ridge of high pressure, bringing us fair weather, and we don't have a lot going on right now. We have one little shower that's kind of popped up, but nothing really serious yet. We'll be waiting tomorrow for this dry air that's in place to be replaced by the greater amounts of moisture headed our way. As far as the forecast goes, watch for those winds to be shifting today, moisture return, and a good chance of rain start into the forecast starting tomorrow night through Friday morning. By the way, the Severe Storm Prediction Center still puts us in a slightest little risk with a high uncertainty of whether or not we'll see any severe weather. But the risk is still 5%, as it was yesterday, so it's not negligible and deserves being watched. And of course, we'll be doing that for you. Once the front moves through, beautiful weekend in store, Scott.
Looks like it. All right, John, thank you. There are new setbacks for the Republican health care bill. Republican leaders insist they are getting close, but the numbers tell a different story. House Republicans are on the brink of losing too many votes to pass the health care reform bill to repeal and replace Obamacare. 2 noes from Republicans can shut it down, and more than a dozen are still undecided. Also a big blow is the loss of support from the former chair of the committee that helped draft the legislation. Representative Fred Upton says he cannot support the bill because he's concerned about the impacts on Americans with pre-existing conditions.
Not a lot of families are immune from that. And the president himself said over the weekend that on the pre-existing side, whatever comes out of this place is going to be just as strong or stronger than what Obamacare did. I'm going to make sure that that promise is kept.
This latest bill would let states opt out of covering basic health services like maternity care, mental health treatment, even ambulances. Also today, Congress is expected to pass a $1 trillion spending bill to keep the federal government running until September. In health news, our day-to-day relationships can affect our health in many different ways, but new research is now suggesting it may even affect our risk of dementia. ABC's Kenneth Moten explains.
Relationships with family. They can be smooth sailing or occasionally a bumpy road.
But what we know from years of research is that having very good family relationships, or very bad ones, can mean a lot for our health. And today there's new research suggesting that the quality of certain relationships is tied to our risk of developing dementia. Researchers in the UK study more than 10,000 cognitively healthy older adults over 10 years. The researchers surveyed these participants, asking about the quality of their relationships with their close relatives to see whether their interactions tended toward positive support, like encouragement or assistance, or negative interactions like bickering and criticism. What they found, those who had positive relationships with adult children also had a 17% lower risk of being diagnosed with dementia by the end of the study. At the same time, those with negative relationships with various family members faced a higher dementia risk. More study is needed to determine the true nature of this relationship, but it could be yet another reason to treat your family with compassion. With this Medical Minute, I'm ABC's Kenneth Moten.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, a major announcement expected today on a shooting death that sparked protests across the country. But first, how Suncoast kids are learning about hockey from the professionals. Details when we come back.
Our dad is an incredible man, a great father, and a hero who served his country well. He worked hard to take care of us. Now we take care of Dad with the help of Granny Nannies.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Florida Studio Theater presents Older Than Dirt, now playing in the Court Cabaret. Come celebrate the ups and downs of getting older. From joints popping to mirrors mocking, this show combines some of the funniest songs ever written for a witty and heartfelt 360-degree view of aging. Don't miss what critics are calling hilarious, incredibly creative, that has many laugh-out-loud moments. Older Than Dirt is now playing. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
Granny Nannies. We've been making house calls for over 25 years. When you need home health care services, there really is no place like home.
Grandma! A helping hand and a gentle heart.
A bill to compensate the parents of a former Florida State football player is making progress in Tallahassee. The Florida legislature passing a bill to pay the parents of Devon Darling $1.8 million. Darling died back in 2001 after doing indoor drills during off-season training. He had the sickle cell trait, which can make people vulnerable to illness from exertion. His parents filed a lawsuit against the state the following year, but it was not heard until 12 years later. The House approving the bill last month, and it has passed the Senate. That happened yesterday. It now heads to the desk of Governor Scott. Florida State agreed to settle in 2004 for $2 million. A plaque honors Darling near the FSU practice field. A standing ovation last night for Orioles outfielder Adam Jones before their 5-2 loss to the Red Sox at Fenway Park. The five-time All-Star received extended applause from the audience. Jones was taunted with racial slurs during Monday's game at Fenway. Fans even threw peanuts at him. The president of the Boston Red Sox has apologized. Extra security was in place for last night's game. Jones calls the incident unfortunate and that such behavior has no place in today's game, but he is grateful for what happened last night.
Much appreciated. Like I said before, it was much appreciated by Boston Red Sox and MLB getting ahead of it, and you know, just appreciative that action was taken and that not everybody feels the same way as selected people.
Jones also says he doesn't think what happened is indicative of a larger fan base or the city of Boston. Tennis star Maria Sharapova will have to wait a little longer to find out if she can play at Wimbledon this summer. The former #1 ranked player will learn her fate on June 20th. She returned to the WTA Tour last week after serving a 15-month ban for doping and reached the semis. Wimbledon begins July 3rd, which is the latest start of the tourney since 1895. On the ice last night, the New York Rangers get within a game of the series leader Ottawa after last night's win. The Rangers winning the game 4-1. That best-of-7 series now stands at 2-1 in favor of Ottawa. In other Stanley Cup action, Nashville Predators are heading back to St. Louis with a 3-1 lead over the Blues. The Predators beat the Blues last night 2-1. Nashville will try to close out the series Friday night. The Tampa Bay Lightning visiting another area school to teach them the basics of hockey. Lightning staff at Prine Elementary School in Bradenton today. 4th and 5th graders were shown the ins and outs of street hockey. It's also a chance for the kids to get some one-on-one time with the team.
Learned how to hit the ball to the net.
It feels good because you're actually meeting the actual players.
The clinic is part of the team's Build the Thunder initiative. At the end, the kids were given their very own hockey sticks and balls so they can continue playing the game. Let's get back to the kitchen now with Chef Judy, who's cooking us some steak today. Hi, Judy.
Well, hi there, Scott. It's steak with a Cinco de Mayo theme. When I was a child, my mother used to make flank steak or skirt steak, and she'd take a bottle of Catalina Island dressing and pour it over the steak and then broil it. So I really have these fond memories of Mom doing that. I found 2 wonderful dressings and marinades if you don't want to take the time to make your own. One is a Mexican style Caesar dressing and one is a carrot coconut. Both of them are gluten-free, which is really important to me when I'm cooking for friends because usually there's a couple people that have to be careful about that. So what I want you to do is just shake up the cilantro Mexican Caesar dressing, or like I said, whichever one that you pick, and just put about 1/3 of a bottle right in there. It's nice and creamy, so it's going to break down the fibers of skirt steak pretty quickly. And I bought 2 pieces of the skirt steak, and they come in like one long piece. So what I'm going to do to make the marinating easier is I love to use the Ziploc bags or the snap bags. So I'm just going to put it down like that and squish it around so it gets flat. That can go in the refrigerator for anywhere from 1 to 3 hours. Don't over marinate it because it can almost get mushy. Then you put on your grill, or here we're going to put on the broiler. Now I already have some refried beans that are mashed and ready to go, and I have cotija cheese, which is the Mexican cheese that we're going to sprinkle on top. So a couple other really quick treats I want to show you about so you can enjoy your company and have a margarita instead of slaving too much in the kitchen. Frontera brand always has these great skillet sauce packets that you can use, and just by doing things like taking the chipotle, a little bit, maybe about a tablespoon of the chipotle peppers, drain it, chop that up along with the taco seasoning, or even to go in with the steak, is going to give it that bright flavor. So once we marinate the steak, we're going to put it out in a broiler pan. Like I said, we're going to get in the broiler. And then we're going to start cutting up our avocados. And the avocados this time of year are just big and beautiful, and probably on sale this week since it's Cinco de Mayo. So you're going to take your French knife and just basically just push it right in there, and you'll be able to split it off. And then we're going to rub it with some lime. That's going to keep it from turning brown. So come back, we'll get the steak cooking, sliced, and we'll get ready to assemble, Cinco de Mayo style.
I'm Alan Cohn. Sarasota City Commission candidates debate. The election is next week. It's the last chance to see all 3 candidates make their case to voters.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
For years, I told everyone my Craftmatic adjustable bed was the greatest until I got the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has an adjustable pillow feature that's awesome. You're gonna want one too when you see how little they cost.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less. Featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest, bedside power plugs, underbed night lights, and more. Available in all mattress types with optional heat and soothing massage for as much as half the price of Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables. Enjoy temporary relief of low back pain, nighttime heartburn, mild arthritis. Adjust the rising pillow feature to help align your head, neck, and shoulders. See for yourself with our 30-day in-home trial. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You gotta see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-237-0214. That's 1-800-237-0214. Call 1-800-237-0214. Call now.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The Wild Broadway series at the Players Center brings you the classic farce, Boeing, Boeing. It's the 1960s, and our swingin' bachelor is juggling 3 beautiful stewardesses from 3 competing airlines. But what happens when Boeing produces a faster plane? Comedy ensues. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. Opening April 26th, it's Boeing, Boeing.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. The U.S. Justice Department is expected to announce as soon as today that no charges will be filed against 2 Louisiana police officers involved in the shooting death of a man outside of a convenience store. Those officers are on administrative leave for the death of Alton Sterling. The 37-year-old black man was selling CDs outside of a Baton Rouge store last year when 2 white officers approached him, pinned him to the ground, and then reportedly shot him. Sterling's family says they learned about the Justice Department's reported decision through the national media and not the federal agency itself.
The district attorney has not called us and told us anything. The lawyer called and said they have not made a decision. We need closure. We need a conviction. We need justice.
Video of the killing sparked protests nationwide and became part of the national discussion on how police interact with minorities. Community activists are urging nonviolence in the days following the outcome of the department's decision. A Texas police officer was without a job today after fatally shooting a 15-year-old boy. His family is now calling for criminal charges against the officer. ABC's Emily Rao has the details.
After reviewing the findings, I have made the decision to terminate Roy Oliver.
The family of 15-year-old Jordan Edwards grateful for that announcement that Officer Roy Oliver is out of a job. The Balch Springs police chief initially withholding his name but putting him on paid leave. But then this major reversal, the chief firing Oliver after watching 2 separate body camera videos from Saturday night.
I unintentionally incorrected yesterday when I said the vehicle was backing down the road.
Police got the call around 11 p.m. for a house party full of intoxicated teenagers. Officers said when they arrived, they heard gunfire and encountered a car backing toward them. But the chief saying the body cam tells a much different story.
In fact, according to the video that I viewed, the vehicle was moving forward as the officers approached.
In that car, Edwards, along with his two brothers, rushing to leave the party. Officer Roy Oliver fired his rifle at the departing vehicle, hitting Edwards in the head. Community members in this Dallas suburb now calling for Oliver's arrest and those body cameras made public.
If you lie in your report about a shooting and you're a police officer, there needs to be consequences.
The freshman football player and honor student's family telling ABC News the magnitude of his horrible actions cannot be overstated, and that our family is working hard to deal with the loss of our beloved Jordan.
The family's attorney says they want to see Officer Oliver indicted. He now has 10 days to appeal his termination. Emily Rao, ABC News, New York.
Some incredible video out of Washington State shows a plane crashing into an intersection, and amazingly, no one was seriously hurt. The scene is caught on dash cam. The plane had just taken off yesterday afternoon when the pilot reported losing power. With no time to waste, he landed in an intersection, the plane bursting into flames as it clipped power lines and street signs. The pilot and passengers were able to get out quickly. Investigators are now working to determine what caused that plane to go down. This is probably a situation you'll only see in New York. Firefighters responding to a car fire that was started by rats. The owner of the car says several rodents made themselves at home below his hood and started chewing on the engine's components. His engine started to overheat and then it caught fire. 2 rats were also found chewing on his tires. And if this story isn't crazy enough, the man who recorded the video will also surprise you.
So I'm watching my car get mauled by a rat fire, seeing Tony Hawk capture this across the street.
That's right. Skateboarding pro Tony Hawk recorded the video and shared it on Instagram. He then took a selfie with the driver. We're told it took about 4 hours to get the car towed, and the fire started when he was leaving for work. And yes, he was very late for work. Some destructive, hungry rats.
Amazing.
Man.
They grow them big in New York.
Yeah, they do.
They're big and feisty, apparently. We have some, hopefully some rainfall coming our way, which will be great. You know, you look at some of the drought indexes, and those areas that did get rainfall yesterday, got significant rainfall yesterday, look a little better today.
Yeah.
Not out of the woods, but a little better. So hopefully we'll get some around here. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Looking at the Van Wezel webcam over our Gulf waters today, we started off with a little bit of cloud cover, a little bit of strats around the area this morning, but they gave way to sunshine. We have some drier air that has filtered in back behind front yesterday, and that's aloft and at the surface. Actually, dew points significantly lower. It feels kind of nice outside today. Today's a pretty good day. In fact, I think most of tomorrow will be nice as well, though I think we will see an increase in cloud cover coming our way tomorrow, kind of the harbinger of a frontal boundary approaching. There are the drought indexes that I was talking about, those areas in the kind of purple color there. Extreme drought, and that covers much of North Florida. For us, every place is in either a large amount of drought or in a very high risk of fire. So we could use a little bit of rain around here. Hopefully we'll see some tomorrow. Talk about that in just a second. Scott?
Okay, John, thank you. Hillary Clinton making headlines again after pointing the finger at FBI Director James Comey for her election night loss. This comes as Comey testifies today on Capitol Hill before the Senate Judiciary Committee. ABC's Janae Norman has more.
FBI Director James Comey speaking candidly about what he calls one of the most painful decisions he's ever had to make.
I stared at Speak and Conceal. Speak would be really bad. There's an election in 11 days. Lordy, that would be really bad. Concealing, in my view, would be catastrophic.
The director says his team discovered thousands of new Clinton emails and ultimately decided to tell Congress they'd be reopening the investigation, and says in hindsight he'd make the same decision.
Look, this was terrible. It makes me mildly nauseous to think that we might have had some impact on the election, but honestly, it wouldn't change the decision.
According to President Trump's Twitter feed, FBI Director Comey was the best thing that ever happened to Hillary Clinton, and that he gave her a free pass for many bad deeds. Hillary Clinton stepped out of the shadows and into the spotlight after keeping a low profile since losing the election. She says she was well on her way to winning had it not been for Comey's last-minute letter to Congress.
I was on the way to winning until the combination of Jim Comey's letter on October 28th and Russian WikiLeaks raised doubts in the minds of people who were inclined to vote for me but got scared off.
Comey says his decision was bigger than that.
I can't consider for a second whose political fortunes will be affected in what way. We have to ask ourselves, what is the right thing to do, and then do that thing.
Democrats pressed Director Comey on why the FBI was silent all that time about the still ongoing investigation into the Trump campaign and Russian interferences. Director Comey says both investigations were treated the same. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
In Georgia, a Republican congressional candidate is facing criticism after her husband retweets a racially charged post. The image was shared by the husband of candidate Karen Handel. It shows a picture of an African-American man, and it reads, quote, "Free the black slaves from the Democratic Party plantation." So far, Handel's campaign has not apologized for the post. She's locked in a tight race in the runoff election with Democratic candidate Jon Ossoff. Here in Florida, the ex-chief of staff of a former congresswoman is taking the stand today. Representative Corinne Brown is on trial for fraud. The 70-year-old is accused of using hundreds of thousands of dollars in charity donations for lavish parties, trips, and other personal uses. Prosecutors say her ex-chief of staff, Elias Simmons, was the mastermind behind the schemes. Brown has pleaded not guilty. Some local bicycle riders putting their lives at risk at a busy intersection, and it's all caught on traffic cameras. Surveillance video from the Sarasota Police Department shows one rider driving into oncoming traffic and then doing two more do the same thing. This all happened over the weekend at University Parkway and North Tamiami Trail, very busy intersection. The bike riders had to swerve through traffic to avoid being hit. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but police hope to use this video as a reminder to bike riders to obey stoplights and street signs, just as those in cars do. In tonight's installment of our Behind the Badge series of special reports, we're taking you up with the Sarasota County's Eye in the Sky. The Sheriff's Office Aviation Unit, known as Air One, provides around-the-clock help for calls ranging from car chases and robberies to brush fires. Purchased for $1.8 million back in 2005, Air One is the only law enforcement helicopter in the county. It's operated by 3 pilots and 8 tactical flight officers from the Sheriff's Office. But Air One actually serves several different law enforcement agencies. An infrared camera makes the helicopter a valuable tool in tracking down suspects, and the 210-gallon Bambi bucket has already helped more wildfires this year than either of the previous 2.
The bread and butter of an aviation unit is the foot pursuits, the vehicle pursuits, because you can make such a big difference in regards to helping and improving the overall safety of that call.
It was really incredible to see him coming down in such a small space and having such control over the helicopter.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 5, Adam Cellini will take us inside Air One for a bird's eye view of some of the recent brush fires and a closer look at how Aviation Unit helps take down some of the county's worst criminals. All right, let's get back to the kitchen now. Lunch is coming along with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher, getting us ready for Cinco de Mayo.
That's right, Scott. So I've broiled up the skirt steak. It doesn't take long at all. We had it marinated, of course, in that beautiful, bright cilantro Mexican dressing. Now, just make sure when you carve it, we want to watch the grains running this way. So you always carve it, skirt steak or flank steak, against the grain, just like you would a brisket as well. Now, this marinade is going to work so well on chicken or turkey, but especially wonderful with steak. So now we have the steak part done. Let me just wipe my hand off here, and now we're going to start building it. Keeping on the gluten-free theme, I found some wonderful tostada bowls at Fresh Market, and they are gluten-free. So we're going to use those. I put some refried beans on the base, and then we're going to build it just like we would similar in a salad. We'll put a little lettuce. Now the difference is over here I have just some bright rice that I added cumin and corn and some Mexican seasonings too, fajita-style seasonings, and that's going to serve as a base as well. So if you want to put lettuce on that, you can. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're just going to next take some of the marinated grilled steak, medium rare is exactly how I like it. And we're going to build on that a little bit with, of course, scallions. So we'll just kind of sprinkle those around here. There we go. and the avocado that we already sliced, and remember we sprinkled some fresh lime juice. That acid keeps the avocado from turning brown, so you can cut it a few minutes early. And avocados are one of those positive fats that you want. They're going to be so good for you. Great creamy taste as well. Now I'm going to take the cilantro, and I happen to love cilantro, so I'm going to go heavy on it, using the stems as well, because there's a lot of flavor and nutrients right in those stems. So we just kind of tear that apart. And instead of a regular salsa, I have a tomatilla salsa. You may see those little tomatillas in the husks. So you can just bring those home and you can blend that, and we'll put in that. And when I come back, I'm just going to top off with some sour cream, a few more treats, and I think John Scalzi is ready for his Cinco de Mayo lunch.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
So we're looking at temperatures now that have climbed up into the upper 80s. We're at 88 at the airport. With a dew point of 65, it's still comfortably low humidity, but that will be rising over the course of the next 24 hours as our calm winds become more southeasterly. We have this area of low pressure. We've been talking about that for a couple of days now, and we're watching its progression as it intensifies and moves toward the east. We actually have a couple of areas of low pressure, but they'll coalesce into one as they move across the deep south. And one frontal boundary will be inching its way closer to the state of Florida over the next 24 hours. The high pressure ridge, which is providing us with our lovely weather today, moves out into the Atlantic and switches our winds more to a southerly direction. As that happens, it kind of primes the pump, as it were, for a series of impulses to move through the area. The first impulse comes through probably tomorrow evening around 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And then the secondary impulse will come through probably Friday morning at around, well, probably pre-dawn. That'll be getting pretty close. Mostly sunny skies, shifting winds for us today, returns our humidity by tomorrow, I think, and an isolated shower possible today. Much better chance for rainfall tomorrow night through Friday morning. You can see all those big heavy storms now moving through parts of the open plains into the Ohio Valley eventually, and around the northern Gulf waters, that area of low pressure producing the storminess in parts of Louisiana Delta region. An enhanced chance for severe thunderstorms there today. That whole system gradually drifts to the east. I will say the majority of the power associated and energy associated with this storminess will probably lift up toward the Carolinas. But the trailing front will be moving through the state of Florida, and we'll have to monitor it pretty carefully to see if it does have any severe impact on the state of Florida, and particularly on our area. Right now, things are quiet. We have a few areas of showers around, mostly east of the interstate. But if you look at the dew point values across the state, which are the measure of how much moisture there is in the atmosphere, you'll notice that when the front moved through, it brought some drier air. 40s and 50s, that's lovely, you know, almost spring-like dew point values to the northern tier. But the front kind of stopped short of clearing the state and washed away, and we're left in the more almost summer-like values of 60s and 70s. Still, I'll take a 65 over a 72 dew point any day of the week. Unfortunately, that 65 dew point will probably change back into 70-degree dew points by tomorrow. Few scattered showers today along the sea breeze front, mostly inland. Then our attention turns to the frontal boundary sinking southward through the state. By tomorrow morning, it's in the panhandle. It then progresses southward. By tomorrow evening, it's on our doorstep with some pretty good showers. That moves through during the evening news tomorrow. And then the second round of showers will be visiting us during Good Morning Suncoast on Friday morning. The whole thing should be out of here shortly after daybreak, and we're left with better weather. Again, the Severe Storms Prediction Center puts our area in a marginal risk. Uncertainty is very high as to whether or not we would see any severe weather, but it's possible, about a 5% chance of that. We'll look for a 60% chance of those rains tomorrow night through Friday, then turning a little cooler and a lot less humid for the weekend, Scott.
Can't wait. All right, John, thank you. Tonight, a town hall meeting will take place to discuss the expansion of the Legacy Trail. Sarasota County is looking to extend it more than 7 miles to the north over former CSX railroad tracks. The trail currently covers 10 miles from South Sarasota to Venice. The county is looking to extend it into downtown Sarasota. The first meeting started at noon. It's already underway, and a second one is set for 5 o'clock this evening at the Veterans of Foreign Wars Sunshine Post on Tuttle Avenue in Sarasota. Today's amazing Suncoast woman succeeded at many careers before she reached retirement. But even after her retirement, she kept very busy. Linda Carson shares her story.
Linda Wilson was born in Canaan, Connecticut, and she still uses a lot of what she learned in that small farming town as she works for the Venice Farmers Market here on the Suncoast.
My father taught me to always say what you mean and do what you say. My mother taught me to always give people a second and a third chance.
She went to work right after high school.
My very first job was an administrative assistant for Avco Lycoming in Charleston, South Carolina.
She was fascinated by the drafting department.
My boss had the wherewithal to say, would you like to learn that trade? And he allowed me to spend part of my day in the design and drafting department learning that trade.
She'd found her career.
I worked for a company called Bendix, and I designed and built the very first air hockey table in 1970.
She helped design the first mobile air transferable hospital.
This was a group of 7 hospitals that are airdropped into disaster areas or into war areas. I had the dental unit that I was responsible for.
She designed the technology for the Publishing Clearinghouse contest, and
I was with Colt Firearms, and I had a portion of designing the M16 rifle.
She met her husband when she hired him.
I did hire him, and years later he left and he went to work for United Technologies.
But they met again years later, married, and have a daughter and 2 grandchildren. They retired to Venice in 2001.
I became a photographer, and I started working for general contractors. I've photographed the Oslo Theater. I've done the Venice Community Center. I've done the Sarasota Opera House.
She's very proud of the help the Venice Farmers Market gives the community.
2 years and 6 months over $25,000 to our local community.
And her life lesson, go for your passion.
Mine has and always will be giving back to others.
These are some of the awards Linda Wilson has won since she's been here in Venice. But it's not the awards she treasures, it's the feeling she gets knowing how many people the Venice Farmers Market is helping. Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Linda, thank you. Coming up next, familiar with that great tune, Hotel California? Well, the legendary rock band The Eagles, who wrote it, now going after a business reportedly using it for its own promotion. Details next in entertainment news.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Everyone loves a bright and cheerful smile. Not everyone can find the dental care they need and can afford. Now there's a place nearby where anyone can receive professional quality dental care at an affordable cost. The LECOM School of Dental Medicine in Lakewood Ranch is now accepting patients. You will receive your care in comfortable, state-of-the-art treatment rooms. To schedule your appointment, please call the LECOM Dental Group practices, 941-405-1600. We will be happy to see you smiling again.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Florida Studio Theater presents Older Than Dirt, now playing in the Court Cabaret. Come celebrate the ups and downs of getting older. From joints popping to mirrors mocking, this show combines some of the funniest songs ever written for a witty and heartfelt 360-degree view of aging. Don't miss what critics are calling hilarious, incredibly creative, that has many laugh-out-loud moments. Older Than Dirt is now playing. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
For the last decade, SNS Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Well, there you go, John.
Oh, I'm in heaven, Judy.
I know.
In heaven.
I know. Little kick with tomatillo sauce. I drizzled that carrot coconut dressing on top, and then pickled jalapenos. And you can get them right where the other marinated peppers are and things like that. But I think the pickled jalapeno just brings that up another level.
I love it. I
Good.
love spicy food.
Well, that's your deal. So remember, you can go on mysuncoast.com, click on the dining page, and you can get this recipe and video probably in about 24 hours. But you can sign up right now for our newsletter if you haven't already, and you could enter to win a $50 gift card. So go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Back to you, Scott.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Some alarming health news for the wife and writing partner of comedian Jim Gaffigan. The comedian says his wife had to have surgery to remove a serious brain tumor. She's now recovering. An MRI revealed the life-threatening tumor inside Jeannie Gaffigan's head 2 weeks ago. She posted on Instagram saying she's coming back and thanks everyone for their prayers. Jeannie co-writes and produces her husband's material. Well, lawsuits are in the news, and we're learning don't mess with the Hotel California. The Eagles are suing over the name of their biggest hit. It's against an actual hotel in Mexico just north of Cabo called Hotel California. The band says the place is leading people to believe that the 11-room hotel inspired the song, which it did not. Michael Jackson's daughter is stepping onto the big screen. Paris Jackson will be making her feature movie debut in an untitled film for Amazon Studios. The 19-year-old will play what's being described as an edgy young woman. She made her acting debut earlier this year in the TV series Star. First, there was the Unicorn Frappuccino, and now there's the Mermaid. Starbucks' latest mixture is made by adding freeze-dried blackberries to a vanilla bean base. It's topped off with a toasted coconut matcha sauce. Is that how you say that, Judy? Matcha. Matcha sauce. A Starbucks barista and blogger came up with the mixture after running out of ingredients for the Unicorn Frap at her Michigan location. The Mermaid Frap is not officially on the menu yet, but one drink that is the Midnight Mint Mocha Frappuccino. Now,
you did well, so you did quite well.
I don't know any of those drinks because I don't drink any of those. I just started drinking coffee recently.
Did you
So maybe I'll move on to those. But
no, you won't.
You like
no,
matcha. Matcha's good. Matcha is powdered tea, so powdered green tea, so it's
very healthy for you.
Yeah. I don't know that this drink is particularly healthy.
But it tastes good.
I'm just proud of you that you're drinking coffee like us.
I know. You need it. Yeah.
So tune in at 5 tonight. Bob will have an update, by the way, on the severe weather threat.
Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. See you again at 5.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
I believe that home is where your pet is.
And that loving an animal means never giving up on them, never letting them go.
I believe that when you spay or neuter your pets, you help decrease the number of homeless animals.
Because every dog and cat deserves a place to call home.
I believe that I found my best friend at a shelter. And you can too.
We believe that together with Best Friends Animal Society,
we can bring about a time when there are no more homeless pets.
Visit ambassadors.bestfriends.org.